Have you ever had that experience where women who were on fertility treatments and do they have skin issues correlate with that?
So yes, all of these things are typical. At the same time, when something is normal and if it happens a lot, that doesn't necessarily mean we should just put up with it, right? There are solutions for this.
Okay, Dr. Kate. So I just turned 48. This podcast is honestly perfect timing for me. Tomorrow, I have an appointment with my OBGYN. I'm like, I need to get some estrogen, progesterone, like I'm dying over here. I'm literally having a hot flash. So this is I'm so excited for this interview about hormones and how it affects the skin. And by the way, for the first time in my life, I had great skin. I had a baby late in life, so at 45, so he's 2 now. And then out of nowhere, rosacea hit my skin. And I even went to 2 dermatologists because I didn't believe the first one. I'm like, no, I don't have rosacea. I don't know what this is, but that, and I'm an esthetician, so I know I see it, but I was in complete denial. And I thought, oh, help. I've got the rosacea under control right now, but can you tell me why did that happen? Is it my age? Like what happened there? How can I keep it under control? I need some help.
I totally understand it. I hear this all the time from my patients, and they hit these perimenopausal years where our hormones are in flux and
they're awful.
and all kinds of symptoms show up. And so things that maybe you've never had or haven't had in years, they can all of a sudden appear. So rosacea and other skin issues are one of the things that these hormonal ups and downs that are happening in perimenopause is it definitely triggers skin issues, and rosacea is one of them. And even if you never had a problem with rosacea before, probably because you took such good care of your skin and you did a lot of things as an esthetician, you knew so much. But when you've got these hormonal fluctuations in there with it, it brings a whole other level.
I think also, so I had a lot of fertility treatments, like rounds and rounds and rounds. So obviously my body has been pumped with hormones left and right for years. So it took us over 5 years to have 𝗀𝗄𝗃. So I think I think that played a huge part in everything that's going on with my body, and it's coming out through my skin as well. Have you ever had that experience where women who were on fertility treatments and do they have skin issues correlate with that?
So yes, all of these things are typical. At the same time, when something is normal and if it happens a lot, that doesn't necessarily mean we should just put up with it, right? There are solutions for this. But do you want me to explain a little bit about what happens during perimenopause with our hormones and how that impacts our skin?
Yes. I am currently in it. I'm so interested in this. Yes, please do.
Right. So perimenopause often surprises women because they may have heard of menopause when our periods stop and oh, I'm not anywhere near that. But perimenopausal symptoms can start as early as our 30s. And so what happens is the first hormonal changes that happen is a drop in a hormone called 𝗍HEA. And 𝗍HEA is a really important hormone that impacts our adrenal function, our sex hormones, and that actually starts to decline in our 30s. And some women will also start to develop perimenopausal symptoms, which means their progesterone levels will start to drop. For most women, it's in their 40s, like it can be early 40s, mid 40s, late 40s, but some women do experience as early as their mid to late 30s. And this is one of the reasons why it can be hard if women are trying to get pregnant later. Then that can be part of the issue and difficulty in getting and maintaining a pregnancy because of that initial drop in progesterone. Progesterone is really important for fertility and pregnancy, but we have progesterone receptors all around our entire bodies, not just our uterus. So it impacts our skin, our memory, so much of our bodies can be, and our function can be impacted by that initial drop in progesterone. And so when we have estrogen as our other main hormone as women, and so that with that initial drop in progesterone, that relationship with estrogen then can feel like an imbalance. So it can feel like we have too much estrogen. We may not have too much estrogen, but it can feel that way. So then we can start to have more PMS. We can start to feel more moody, like more, those that we can have problems with our periods, all kinds of things like heavy periods, cramping. And so those can be some of those early initial signs. And when it comes to skin, things like rosacea flare-ups or even eczema and acne breakouts too, because progesterone kind of keeps testosterone, our androgens, in check. And so when that starts to drop, our androgens actually can go up a little bit, which can actually be good in some ways because it can mean women have this sudden surge in sex drive right at the beginning of perimenopause. But then we can tend to have acne breakouts because of that. And so then as we go along in perimenopause, then estrogen starts to decline as we get closer to menopause, which is generally around 51, 52 is the average age for menopause. So think about like leading up to that. That's when all this is happening. So then estrogen starts to decline. And then that's when women start to notice more, like all of a sudden signs of aging are accelerating, more fine lines and wrinkles, some sagging skin. Like, how is this happening? What is going on? And then there's also testosterone, which is very individual from one woman to another. But when we have a decline in testosterone, that actually helps with our muscles. And so when we start to have muscle atrophy, think about all the muscles that we have in our face and not just the rest of our bodies, but in our face. And so as those start to decline, that can cause more of the changes in the shapes of our face and more sagging skin.
I think I'm going towards more of the menopause situation because I'm not having my cycle right now. This is probably TMI for everybody. But oh well, I'm helping one woman out there. That's what I see it. So, so when you listed those last symptoms, I was like, that is me to a T. So what are your thoughts on, for the skin? Do you recommend the estrol for the face, like the cream to put on that? Like you see like Muesli, those brands out there that you can get a prescription for that. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a really great question. And I know for years I've been wondering why this wasn't being used and I would go to skin conferences like 10 years ago and go skincare and spa conferences, be like, why isn't anybody using an estriol or estradiol cream, face cream? Because the research on it, and I was seeing it with my patients because I would prescribe it as from a compounding pharmacy. So they would make it and a nice base that would work well as a face moisturizer. But I do want to say it, because it is a hormone, we have to be very careful with it. And then it's not I know it's oftentimes we try and have like everybody is the same. Let's just give everybody this and everything will be okay. But it's not that way. I promise you, I've been practicing medicine. I've been doing women's health for 25 years. And every woman is so different. And so, yes, overall, the answer is yes. I think there's some research on it. I've seen it in my patients. I personally like to use, and some women, I think for the most part, estriol, which is the type of estrogen that's actually more prevalent in pregnancy. And it tends to be safer. I'm using air quotes here just because we still have to be careful with estrogen because we want to make sure it's metabolized properly and that our bodies are using it properly. So one of the concerns I have is if you're using a lot of estrogen on your face, it still gets into systemic circulation. Anything that you apply to your skin does to a certain extent get absorbed. So then if for a woman who might have more what we call estrogen dominance, where their estrogen is higher in relationship to progesterone, she could actually start having more of those estrogen dominant symptoms. Like I was saying, like PMS, moodiness, heavy periods, cramping, breast tenderness. And these are things that we just don't want women to experience. So yes, you can try it, but be very mindful. And also you want your liver function to be working really well because that's what helps with estrogen metabolism, keeps it in safe levels, and gives a good feedback mechanism in the body to keep everything in equilibrium.
A few questions about that. When you say with the liver, I would automatically thought it would be good to do castor oil packs on your liver. if you're doing that just to detoxify. That's what I kind of.
Castor oil packs are something that we've been using in naturopathic medicine for a very long time, and they're an old school, very very nice. There's not a lot of research behind it, and hardcore research behind castor oil packs, but we do believe that they do provide some liver support. And also, there are things like 𝗵, which is a supplement that comes from cruciferous vegetables like the broccoli, cauliflower family. And 𝗵 is known to help with estrogen metabolism. So that can be a good thing for women who tend to have more of that estrogen dominance. It's not something I like women to take after they've gone through menopause when they're not producing estrogen anymore, because we want that estrogen unless they're having those estrogen dominant symptoms.
I believe I'm taking, it's called 𝗵 Pro. I thought it was 𝗵 Pro, but I was taking it for, they said that if you had trouble losing weight around your middle section to take it. Have you heard that before?
And it could be that is because of the estrogen dominance that can cause like bloating, and that can be one of the symptoms of that. And also other things that support the liver, things like milk thistle, vitamin C, these support glutathione, which is released in the liver and helps with detoxification.
I love glutathione. Like, I feel really good when I'm on that. When I'm just asking for myself also. So if I get if she puts me on estrogen tomorrow, can I also take the face cream too with estradiol, or is that too much at one time? Should I start slowly?
Yeah, I mean, you can do both. I would start slowly. And again, every woman is unique. So I like to test in addition to looking at a woman's symptoms. What is she experiencing? And then also doing tests to make sure that she's not getting too much. And I like to do, we'll sometimes do blood work because it gives that snapshot. It's easy to test. I also really like, there's a urine test I really like that looks at the metabolites of the hormones. So, which is part of what's really important when we're looking at estrogen is your body breaking it down? Is it metabolizing it? And if so, how well is it doing, and which pathways is it taking? So there are different types of estrogen metabolites. There are three main types of estrogen. And so we also want to look at those, not just a lot of doctors will just do an estradiol, and they'll oftentimes just give estradiol instead of estriol as well. And so those are all important things to look at. And, I know you said that you were sharing like too much information. I honestly really appreciate that you're sharing this. And I think that it's so important for us to do this. I think in generations of the past just didn't talk about it. And then all of us, we go through perimenopause, we like pause, and we're in menopause, and we're like, wait, what's going on here? Wait, we didn't know about this. And I think our generation is like, we're talking about it more. And I think it's really great. And I think for my daughters talk about these type, they're not going through perimenopause, but they talk about their periods and PMS and ways that I don't remember talking about when I was their age. So I really appreciate this shift and that you opening up this conversation and talking about it.
A ton of questions yesterday. I was like, when did you have premenopause? When was menopause? How are your flows? The whole thing. I was like, I need to know.
Yeah. And it's really good to ask that, because there are these tendencies where women, if we look at women in our family, a lot of times that shows us how we will go through menopause. Not always. Also, how you went, like when your period started, how intense was that? If it was more intense, then you may experience a more intense perimenopause. If you just went, like your period started and you didn't really have any problems and you just started having regular periods, then you might just go through perimenopause, go through menopause, and be like, what's the big deal? So it's very individual, but we can also, ask our mothers, ask aunts, older sisters, and find out what maybe we might be up against or for.
Yeah, it was very interesting because my mom wasn't into her 50s when this happened, and I haven't hit my 50s yet, and I'm already experiencing my hot flashes are all the time. So, wow, this is hitting me early. So I don't know if it's, with our food and everything, which I have I have your book behind me. I did not alter this. You can see if you're watching on YouTube, there's sticky notes sticking out because I have pages flagged. Your book is so rich. It's just filled with so much information and including really yummy recipes because we need to nourish our body from inside too. So I appreciate you writing this book. And a lot of people may not know this about you, but and correct me if I'm wrong. So in California, right? You were the first recognized naturopathic doctor.
I was the first woman licensed as a naturopathic doctor in California.
That is incredible. And I think that needs such recognition. And when I saw that, I was like, wow. And so my business partner is a naturopathic doctor. She's a doctor of Oriental medicine. And so what I learned from her is so amazing because, it's integrative. We have both. I love combining Western medicine with Eastern medicine and seeing how they can go together. So when I read that about you, I thought, wow, this is so impressive. So I just want to say thank you for that. So you see women all the time that are going through these changes. What are some things that you encourage them to add into their daily routine to help with everything? Probably a lot of cortisol things that they need to lower their cortisol. And what can they do to help their skin? It's like starting like tangible steps, like starting today that are like easy and just stress-free.
Yeah. And, we were talking about genetics and our mothers and and you were saying how different it is for you. And that is the thing is that our lifestyle choices and things like, going through fertility treatment, that also plays a big role. So what our lifestyle is like and what our environmental factors are plays a huge role in how we then will end up going through these transitions. And so as far as what to do with the skin, I really approach skin from both an inside and an outside approach. So there are things that we want to do from the inside out, and then there are things that we want to do topically. So from the inside out, and in both of my books, I talk about food, movement, mindset, and skincare. And these are different areas that I think are all really important, even for our skin. And it's why I had to write my books because I realized that so many people didn't correlate a lot of these things with our skin and the way that our skin looks. So when it comes to food, we want to be eating foods that are rich in antioxidants that protect against oxidative damage. It's one of the things that speeds up the aging process. Aging alone increases oxidative damage, the free radicals that speed up the aging process and also can predispose us to cancer. And so when we consume antioxidant, it helps protect against that. And then also environmental factors that, pollutants that we're exposed to, sun exposure increases oxidative damage in the skin. So antioxidants, eating lots of colorful fruits and vegetables like berries and your green leafies, and also they're colorful grains and legumes, anything that naturally has a lot of color to it. Nature provides these incredible antioxidants. Also, collagen rich foods are great for supporting our skin. So as we age, we start to lose the collagen in our skin that gives our skin that nice firmness and youthful appearance. And it starts to break down as we age. And again, environmental factors can speed that up. And as we go through menopause, that does, when we lose especially estrogen, that accelerates the collagen loss. So getting collagen rich foods, things like bone broth, or if you don't consume animal products, foods that are rich in vitamin C, because vitamin C naturally supports collagen. And then also we want healthy fats like omega-3 rich fatty acids like wild Alaskan salmon, things like that. That really, we need those beneficial oils, avocados, olives, and the oils from those can help nourish our skin from the inside out. So that's food. And then also avoiding things like a lot of sugar or processed foods, because that can also accelerate collagen loss. It can trigger acne breakouts, especially when our hormones are in flux. And sugar increases inflammation, which is a big trigger for a lot of, and that internal inflammation shows up as skin inflammation, which is like inflammatory skin issues like eczema or acne or rosacea.
I have started to mill my own grains. So it's a whole thing. My inflammation gone. I couldn't believe it. I've been a few weeks on it. mill my own flour, excuse me. And it has made such a difference, and it's cut my cravings a little bit, but it's just been such a game changer. And then when you mentioned collagen, I want to hear from you how your day is in just a minute, but I have a scoop of Vital Proteins, the chocolate flavor collagen in my coffee every morning. And I'm hot right now, so it's put some ice in there. I'm like, I can't handle the hot coffee. And I'm starting my day with that protein, and it just makes such a difference. And then I feel if I need a snack, I like to have bone broth. It's a nourishing snack, and you can get that protein as well during your day. I'm fascinated to hear about your day, like your routine. You're a busy doctor. I looked on your website. You're not even you can't even get to see you because you've got so many clients that you're seeing and you have so many things that you're doing. So would you walk us through your day, like how you started your morning today and what you did for your skin, like all the details? I would love to hear about it.
Absolutely. I personally love to start my day with a smoothie. Partly because, I mean, and I used to always do this, but my husband doesn't cook, but he will make smoothies. And so I've given him like the ingredients, and he makes us smoothies every morning. And so it's chock full of collagen, protein, and leafy greens, and some frozen berries, and some fiber. And so it's just like we get so much in that smoothie, that morning smoothie. And then this is as far as food. As far as other things, I mean, because I don't think it's just about food. I meditate every morning. The first thing that I do though is I get outside in the sunlight. And I think that is so important for our circadian rhythm, which also then impacts our skin. There's great research showing that melatonin, which is the hormone that is released at night to help us sleep, is so good for our skin, protecting our skin against certain types of skin cancers, and with skin aging. It's actually an antioxidant. A lot of people just think of it as a sleep hormone, but melatonin is really important. So sleep is crucial. So getting that morning sunlight, but other times people focus at your nighttime ritual, which is also very important. But in the morning, when you get out within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up, get that initial sunlight, it actually helps. It turns your melatonin off and gives your cortisol, which we need that morning cortisol to get us going. And that helps with that hormonal balance, that circadian rhythm. So that's the first thing I do. Get the nice smoothie, and then I meditate.
What meditation are you doing?
What kind of meditation?
Yeah. Are you doing a certain specific one or?
I do my own meditation, and it's a combination of breath work and then just like contemplation. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of a reflecting on like some scripture or something of, a word or something that's very restorative to me if I want to just kind of let the mind go and just focus on something very positive. So that's what I do. That's my morning.
Have you heard of the James method?
No, huh?
And the book, The Circle Maker? The James method is you get one verse and then you dissect that verse and really, go into the Bible, and it's an intense practice, but I've recently just been told about it, and the Circle Maker, I think it helps you with that. But I'm going to start implementing that with my meditation because I'm with you. I'm like, I'm meditating, but it's with God. I'm bringing that into my life with scripture. But I thought, okay, I'm going to put that on the podcast because if that can help anybody. So it's called the James Method, and look at the Circle Maker book. And also, I just want to point out, God gave us everything. He gave us the sun, and a lot of people don't know. They think of it with the circadian rhythm, but it really helps your skin too. And then I think people overthink it. Listen, you only need it for like 5 minutes in the morning. If it's cloudy, it's like 15 minutes. Andrew Huberman has done all the research. Just Google it on his blog. It's there, and it makes it sets the tone for the day. I'm a different person when I get my morning sun. I'm so glad that you're doing both of those things because you're setting your cortisol for the day as well.
Yeah. And I mean, I think what you do in the morning when you get up is it kickstarts the day and it sets the tone for the whole day. You're setting your circadian rhythm. If you're getting a balanced meal, you're also setting your blood sugar. And so then you don't have these ups and downs, and you don't need to drink coffee. You can, maybe for the antioxidants and have some on occasion, but it's not something that you rely upon. And so, and also getting that hydration too. So in a smoothie, we're putting water in that. We don't add like milk or anything like that. We just put water in it because we're adding on all these other delicious things but we're getting that hydration at the same time.
Do you prefer a certain type of collagen brand over another one, or what's your favorite that you're using right now?
Well, so I started a company called the Spa Doctor, and it's a skincare supplement and hair care company.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and we have a collagen powder that we use, and it's really delicious. You can just add a scoop to water, and it's got a nice lemon flavor. It's so delicious, and it's packed full of collagen peptides along with other nutrients that support collagen. So we use that, and then we also have, if people don't like powders, we have capsules too that is with a marine collagen.
Oh, perfect. So we can just go on your site and get it from Spa Doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. What about electrolytes? Are you having electrolytes in the morning with your water?
I don't do that, but that's partly because of all of the things that are in there. There are a lot of electrolytes naturally with the foods that we're adding. And electrolytes are something that I add like post a workout and I'm sweating a lot, or on a really hot day when I've been, in the summer and I've been outside and it's been really warm. That's when I add in electrolytes.
Do you like to do anything? Do you like to add like creatine or amino acids to your drinks as well? I have a whole thing, so that's what I'm asking.
Yes, yes. Amino acids are great, especially post workout, to make sure that, we just have to work a little bit harder as we get older, that our bodies start to break down muscle a lot faster. And so exercise is even more important. We don't have to, it's very individual again, as far as how to work out and how much to work out, but we need to continue exercising to help our balance, to help a lot of things. And also, it gives our skin an instant glow. I mean, I don't know about you, but whenever I work out, especially a nice sweat, then my skin just is more glowy and feels more plump and hydrated. So it's just such an important part of our routine. But then after workout, we need protein and we need or amino acids or both. And that can help us keep that lean body mass going.
Yeah, I love that. So after you've had your smoothie, we've got your Spa Doctor collagen. Are you doing your workout then, or are you going into your skincare routine? What are you doing after that?
Yeah, so definitely skincare routine. And like I said, I started the Spa Doctor, and we have a 4-step skincare system that is my routine that I have been doing since I started the company 10 years ago. And so it is.
Your skin is beautiful, by the way. Everybody needs to see your skin on YouTube. Dr. Cates is a gorgeous skin.
And so do you.
Oh, thank you.
And so, yeah, I use that both morning and night. And so that I can't go without it. I absolutely can't.
What are the 4 steps? So for everybody.
Step 1 is the cleanser, and it is an oil-based cleanser with a very careful pH, because what I was finding about cleansers and why I decided to create, this is partly why I created the line, is because most of the cleansers I was seeing out there strip the skin, and people have been trained, especially in the US, to have a squeaky clean feeling to our skin, like bars of soap that makes our skin squeaky clean. It's actually not good for our skin. It strips the natural oils. It increases the pH. Our skin needs mild acidity. It needs oils in it. And so a lot of people, then that first step, they're just already doing damage to their skin. So it removes, because it's an oil-based cleanser, it removes all makeup or, everything, all the debris and things that on our skin, perspiration, but it doesn't strip the skin. So that's step 1. And then step 2 is an antioxidant serum, because serums are great at helping with that absorption, because, they're very lightweight. So they're designed to absorb rapidly. We need the antioxidants topically as well as taking them internally. It's that inside and outside approach. And then step 3 is a moisturizer to, lock in moisture. And this product, you can just do the 3 steps, or I like to do the 4th step, which is a plant-based oil blend. It's completely oil. And I like that because I do have dry skin. I have sensitive skin, and I live in Park City, Utah, which is very, very dry. And so I need that extra hydration for my skin. So that's where we kind of personalize it a little bit. It is a system that works for all skin types. And then we just add in, if you have really dry skin, add in that fourth step.
I love how you have a facial oil to cleanse with. I am such a big proponent of that. It makes such a difference. And I agree, everybody strips. Whenever I do my skin consultations, I don't know about you, but the number one thing I see is, whoa, you have a lot of exfoliation going on here. Let's pull that back. Let's let your skin have that glow without stripping everything. And I understand. I get the squeaky clean feeling. It does feel good. It does feel good. You're like, oh, I got it off. But your body doesn't need that. That's what I think.
Yeah. And I think that exfoliation is important. We do have a facial exfoliant, but I do think that people overdo it with exfoliation. You only need to do it a few times a week. And if even that. So, and all the different brushes and all the different things people are using and these big, exfoliating properties, it can really damage the skin. And as we get older, we definitely want to be gentle, especially on the face and neck area.
Okay, so I have a question about exfoliation. So I was watching one person or two people that I know, not know, but online, and they only exfoliate their skin once a month. What do you think about that?
Well, it depends on what kind of exfoliation you're doing. So especially if it's a bit more of a harsh exfoliation, like a chemical exfoliation, then yes, then once a month. The type of exfoliator that we have it's a physical and it's finely ground bamboo. And so it's very gentle. So that one, because of it being so gentle in nature, you do want to do it a little bit more frequently. Doing it once a month can be fine for some people, but as we age, our skin cell turnover slows down. So and a healthy skin, it's about 30 days. Every 28 to 30 days, we get, a nice skin cell turnover. But as we get older, that time increases. So having an exfoliator can be beneficial.
I've never heard of a bamboo exfoliator. That is such a unique ingredient. That is so. It's just like a fine.
It's rose and bamboo, and so rose is really beautiful for the skin, and it's just a luxurious experience too, and it's really good rose essential oil, not like your cheap, the cheap one that maybe your grandmother used to use.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like this is nice. I love rose. I think it's so good. Are you putting a sunscreen on after this, or what do you do with your sunscreen?
Yeah, so I have a tinted sunscreen. We don't make one at the spa doctor, but I'll use a tinted sunscreen. And instead of doing a foundation, or it's just a tinted, because I like the mineral based ones and they have this sort of thickness to it anyway, and a little bit of almost like a pasty feel. And so if you add if it's tinted, then it's kind of like using like a foundation.
Those are hard to find. I have a couple brands that I like. What's your favorite brand that you love to use?
There are a few different ones I like. My Shell is one that I've been using for a long time, and it's very light. It's not like it's a super heavy one.
Okay, I am familiar with that brand, and I use some of the things, but I actually didn't know they had a tinted sunscreen. So I'm gonna try that one. And so that's what I have on right now. I just have a tinted sunscreen on, and then I go back and I put concealer on, and then my blush and bronzer. So let's switch to your nighttime routine. Is it the same four steps? Are you adding anything differently in there?
Yeah, so I do, and I'll just because I usually have more time in the evening. That's when I'll also sometimes add in the exfoliation. But I only do that usually about once a week. And then I'll also add in, usually when I do the exfoliation, I add in, we have a hydrating face mask. So I'll put that face mask on to leave at overnight.
Oh, I love how you can leave it on overnight. And do you have to wash that off in the morning, or is it just absorbs into your skin?
Up with when I do my skincare routine. It's not like I'm feeling like, oh, I have to remove this as soon as I wake up. Because it's very natural and it absorbs well, and it doesn't leave like a sticky or heavy feel to it.
Now, in your products, was it important to you to not have like fragrance, perfumes, things like that?
100%. So partly why I got into all of this is as a kid, I had very sensitive skin. I had a lot of allergies, eczema, And I reacted to everything. I'm super reactive. And that's what led me to become a naturopathic doctor. And so, as a naturopathic doctor, I was focusing a lot on the inside out. And then when I was working at the Waldorf Astoria Spa, when I moved to Park City, I realized, like people were asking me a lot about skincare products. And that's when I started to learn more about the skin microbiome and the skin barrier function, and understand a lot what you probably know as far as an esthetician, like what we put on the skin, how important it is. And so I really started to look at not only how much of the toxins we're absorbing in our skincare products, but also what are we putting on our skin that can help support our skin, rather than just maybe make it look glowy and dewy and, fine for the moment, but it's not really doing anything for our skin.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am so thankful that you wrote these 2 books. So I have behind me Clean Skin Within, and then you have behind you your latest book. And can you tell us the difference between the 2 books? Like which one should we get for what?
Yeah, so Clean Skin from Within I wrote to help with skin issues in particular, or people who want to really just optimize their skin. And then one of the biggest things that I got asked about, as you are having questions about, is around hormones. And so my second book is really for women going through hormonal transitions. And so it explains all about hormones. And then I provide a plan, a 7-day reset for each season, and also has recipes that is more specific, having to do around hormones.
I'm getting that book. I need that in my life. I need both books, but bring on the hormone book. Oh my goodness. I wanted to let everybody know. Thanks for writing those, by the way. I know how hard it is to write a book. It just takes all your everything you have, but once it's there, you have all that information. You're like, here's my book. Here's the resource. I wanted to let people know that on your podcast, because I binge listened to your podcast for this interview today, and you have such valuable information on there. And I wanted people to know, please listen to Dr. Trevor Cates' podcast too. I love your episode you did on all the oils that was wonderful. So I just loved listening. I was like, oh, this is good. This is good. So everybody needs to just binge listen to those shows as well in combination with the books. And so is there anything else you would like to tell the audience and where they can connect with you and find you?
Yeah, so I'm at drtrevorcates.com. So it's just my name, drtrevorcates.com. And there you can find out information about working on one-on-one with me, or group programs I do for women. And then the products that I created is the spadoctor.com, 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗍.com. Doctor is abbreviated. So you can go to either of those or both of those websites, and then you can find me, Dr. Trevor Cates, on all the social media channels.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.